Hi, Warriors, TGIF. What a wild, whippy week we've had in currencies and metals and stock indexes. So we are powered and we are sponsored by TradeView Markets. Check out their spreads, open a demo, compare them to your own broker. I want to start off with what I left you with on Wednesday, and it was up here in the S&Ps. And my observation was with a weak dollar and falling yields that the S&Ps weren't making much headway. And I believe it was either that day or the day after. I think it was even that day that the market started to break down as the dollar recovered. Yields were still going down, and this was a pretty negative day. Now, the bulls will say this is support. I said 3950 is a pretty big area. So to arrest this decline, S&Ps are going to have to get back above this 3950 level. So I'm still negative. I think that there's a chance that we could go for these lows here. Some people are going to be looking to buy breaks here. I'm of the opinion, I'm a big believer in what happens on a weekly basis, and it's not that clean because of all my fibs, but you could see this big red candle to the downside after testing the downtrend line from late last year, actually in 2021. And now we'll see what happens. Maybe we could pull back towards this moving average on the weekly here. So in currency terms, what does that mean? So let's look at the weeklies. In the euro, about unchanged on the week, not a major negative sell, but it could be topping out here. You know, a lot of people are saying that the Dixie did bottom here on this candle that we had. Let me show you the daily. There was divergence. I could see their point right here, glaring divergence. I could also make the case that, you know, we could have one more flush. Ideally, I wouldn't mind seeing some type of panic under the big round number of $1, but what I want the market to do, or a preferred narrative I have, the market doesn't care about. So it's very possible that we're getting some type of top here. You're going to know you have a top in pound, right? The 123 was a very significant level for me. And on this first pullback, which now looks like it could be a double top, we held the 123 level. So cable back under 123 on the close, you could confirm it to being a top. The euro, on, you know, the daily basis, we could come in higher and push up one more time above these highs, but this was an interesting little stop hunt without much follow through. And if you notice, the RSI pattern was pretty negative at new highs. They basically just took out the stops over these double tops and then reverse. So far, not much downside action, but it could happen. Now let's look at the weekly of Aussie, which is more sensitive to risk off, and with my bearish view of S&Ps and believing there could be more risk to the downside. Check out how the Aussie was rejected at this weekly 200-day moving average right here, exactly to the pip. So this would be my preferred short next week on strength. We're getting a little strength today. It's trying to rally, but to me, it looks vulnerable, and actually could make a case for the Aussie correcting back down towards this level at 66 and maybe taking it out to 65.5. That's going to happen in the context of a dollar rally, but I believe it's going to be the leader because of what it did on a weekly basis. Moving over to the yen, the yen's acting great today. It's having a reversal week to the upside. You know, it's so wild, the yen. It's really tough to trade with reasonable stops. You almost have to risk the average trading range well over 100 pips a day now. So if you trade it, please reduce leverage and reduce margin. And perhaps now we're going to get this rally up towards 35 and then 137. This is a new development. You guys know I've been more bearish silver than gold, but gold today, when we were higher at the highs up here, this is the first RSI reading under 70. If you can view it there, we confirmed here. We diverged here, but the reading was over 70. The best setups for turning points for tops and bottoms for tops is when you've had a couple divergences, which you had here and here, and then you start getting readings under 70. That makes it a higher probability for a reversal to take place, and that's what's going on right now in gold. Silver holding up okay. You know, we got down to this 2312 level, but silver, you also have to say, compared to gold, this is its second lower high, and back under 2350 should trigger it for that break to at least 2250. My speed line is going to come in much deeper than that. It's going to come in under 22. So we'll see what happens there. That's really all I wanted to cover for today on the wrap, is that there is the potential that the dollar may have bottomed on Wednesday. It's not the most positive weekly reversal. It's barely higher on the week, but there are a lot of dollar bears right now, and they could get squeezed. And perhaps we're going to make a move up towards 106 in the Dixie, and that would be commensurate with the move in the yen back up to 135. Be patient on your gold buys now, because if the yen's going to rally back to that, we could see 1810 in the gold. So be patient with that. In fact, when you look at the miners yesterday, when gold was making a new high, and we all know that Newmont has really been leading the way, Newmont did not make a new high yesterday. So here we go. Take a look at a 4-hour. It gives you a little bit more information that we did not make a new high. Also, the GDX did not make a new high. So gold was making a new high. GDX made a lower high, and silver stocks still don't. I still don't think we have to chase them. Here's the SILJ juniors, and starting to roll over with silver. There must be some kind of problem with Majestic. I've been talking about Majestic not acting good all the way back to November, where silver has made successive higher highs. Some of the other smaller juniors, I think there's going to be some pretty good buying opportunities as well in Endeavor. Let's see what happens if we get that break to 2250. Maybe that's a time to step back into some of the junior silvers, and this one has really been the star. We actually had a double in Fortuna Silver Mines, and halfway back is going to be about $3. That's where I'm going to be looking at it. So I hope that we're adding value. I'm not just giving calls. I'm attempting to teach my methodology here. And also, if you did not see the interview with Jack Schwager yesterday, it is definitely worth the time to hear what Jack has to say about how the Wizards handled the new regime once the Fed was tightening and the punch bowl was taken away. Great discussion on risk management, how the Wizards were able to manage risk during this recent negative year we've had in across the board in equities. And Jack also shares some of his style for how he goes about interviewing the Wizards, which I found kind of tickled me, because accidentally I have the same style. We don't script interviews. We just have conversations with people. So have a great weekend, everybody. Check TradeView Markets out. I think next week's going to be another great week. Really trade, reduce your leverage, let your trades breathe, and above all, learn to take partial profits when markets are whipping around like this. Remember to bring the register and put something in the bank. But above all, don't just count your pips, count your blessings.